Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we're looking into the disappearance of Susan Lynn Ault. Seems like we have another serial killer in the state of Washington. The Herald.net talks about the state being sued over Cowboy Mike murders. It says Washington State is being sued, I don't know how that ended, over a rape and murder by Michael John Braae, 48, a former singer known as Cowboy Mike while he was on parole, in a case seeking unspecified damage. Survivors of Lori Jones, age 44, of Lacey, accused the State Corrections Department of disregarding a judge's order to tighten supervision of Braae a year before she was killed. This is a case where there were red flags all over the place that he was a bad actor, said Brian Gregory Smith of Yakima. He was placed on the lowest level of supervision, and you can read further. I'm skimming through it. It talks about Judge Christine A. Pomeroy ordered that he be placed on community supervision, but the state agency instead placed him on the lowest level of supervision. And it says, and they made statements like, first and importantly, our hearts and concern remain with the families who have been tragically victimized by Michael Braae. So it says that all he had to do was pay fines, and he didn't require home visits. So, and then it says Smith also filed two other similar lawsuits on behalf of women described as survivors of attacks by Braae. Marchelle Morgan, shot in the head and left for dead, south of Union Gap, and Karen Peterson, who said Braae sexually assaulted her in Yakima, and that both happened in July of 2001. Braae was charged with attempted murder in Morgan case, which ended in a mistrial after a judge ruled she was unfit to testify as a witness because of brain injuries. He was convicted in May of raping and murdering Jones, whose body was found under her in 2001. Weeks after that killing, Braae was caught following a chase that began in eastern Oregon and ended after he leaped off a 40-foot bridge into the Snake River in Oregon-Idaho border. He was subsequently sentenced to 9.5 years in prison in Idaho for aggravated assault and eluding an officer. So, and it says Braae remains under investigation in the disappearance of two of his former girlfriends, former Lacey resident Deb Vanluven in 1997, and Susan Ault of Waukegan County in 2001, and the death of a third, Velina Larson, in Clackamas County, Oregon. According to the lawsuit, the Clackamas County Sheriff's Department told the Correction Department in 1988 that Braae was under investigation in the death of Larson and requested 24 hours notice before he was released from custody. So, Clackamas County Sergeant Wendy Baps also told the Olympian that Braae had been investigated or arrested 3 times in rape cases that were never brought to trial. And then you can also find the Seattle Weekly, Cowboy Mike the Ladykiller, and it talks about things that happened, but there's too many swear words in it for me. It talks about Lori Jones had actually intended on going out with somebody else, but they had an argument or something via email, and she wanted to kick her heels up, so she went out to drink Crown Royal, which I don't drink now, but in my younger days, when I did drink, Crown Royal was one of my well, it was my favorite. Crown Royal was my favorite, and I like RC Cola, so I CR and RC, but I'm not a drinker. So it says I'll drink very, very, very occasionally, and usually it's just one shot. I don't like alcohol very much. So this talks about her daughter coming home, and she couldn't get into the apartment where they lived, and the apartment manager had to let her in, and he had hidden her body under the bed. She had been raped and strangled, and he had cleaned up. It looked like he had done some laundry, and it was still kind of damp and left there. So, and then they found a fingerprint or something of his, and he was in the database for a crime he had committed. I think it was shoplifting or something. And it talks about him being suspect in other murders. But I don't want to read any more of that because, like I said, there's too many swear words. So, and then we have murderpedia.org. And murderpedia.org you go there and you can read various newspaper articles because they have posted them on there so that you can see what they say. It talks about Como News, and let's see. It also has the SeattleTimes.com. If you want to pause these and read them, you can because it's pretty interesting. And then it has SeattleWeekly.com if you'd like to read that one. And let's see what it has if I scroll down. Let's see. I'm not sure if it has any other newspaper articles. Well, it also has Yakima. That looks like a newspaper article. And then it has this one, and see, it has a lot of them. So murderpedia.org has some really interesting stuff. And then here's another one. I love that. This one's by Chuck Oxley, the Associated Press. I love that they have so many articles, and there's no ads on the page. Because when I go to read a newspaper article or something online, there's all these ads, and it will make my voice cut in and out. But here you go, and you can read it without all the ads popping up, which is incredible. So, and then he has some photos. I guess, I'm not sure if it's a he or not, but whoever does the murderpedia.org. Excellent job. That's excellent. I love that. So, and then there's also on the Charlie Project, they also have Debra Mae Vanluven, who went missing from Roseburg, Oregon, and March 1st, 1997. And she was 5 foot tall, 5 foot to 5'5". I don't know why they don't know how tall she was. But maybe somebody knows and they'll post it on here how tall she actually was, because it says 5 foot to 5'5", 105 pounds. So, and this is just what it says on here. And if this information isn't accurate, you can contact them to try to get it to where it is accurate, probably. So, and this talks about her, and she was last seen in the company of her live-in boyfriend at the time. It talks about a photo. He had lived with her in Montana as well as Oregon. And so it talks about him being a serial killer. So it sounds like he may have, killed her, but they don't know where her remains are, and they have never found her remains. Or if they have found her remains, then she's Jane Doe, or unidentified female. The same with Susan Lynn Ault. So she would be either they haven't found her remains, or she would be a Jane Doe that hasn't been identified as her yet. So please feel free to leave comments, and if you have any information, you should contact authorities and let them know, so that whether you feel like it's important, or you feel like it's hearsay, or you're not sure if it's even true or accurate, contact authorities, let them know, let them figure all that out, and that way they have the information. And don't forget to leave some comments. And thank you for tuning in, and pray for their families. Have a great day. Bye-bye.